In the top left here with a win on Turbo Cruise, looking for that reverse sweep. This is
Ocean Gaming Special.
Wasn't it 1-1?
1-1.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to two.
But that's not a reverse sweep, though. In the right bottom side.
Makers Classic.
You know what I mean?
I know.
He has to get 2 maps in a row.
Okay, a mini reverse sweep.
Okay.
Down to
a reverse dust. Not really a sweep.
It's all good, matey. I mean, the semifinals are going to be sick. Obviously, the semifinal in the left side of the bracket is going to be played between Elaser and Neep. Can't really remember those two going up against each other too often lately. Like, I have the feeling that it happened a little bit more maybe in 2017. Obviously, that's the one story that they have in common, right? In 2017, those were your 2 WCS champions. Neep won 3 of them, Elaser won 1 of them.
And the 2 2017 WCS champs.
And then on the other side of the bracket, we've got that one 2018 WCS champ. He was a bit greedy.
He's just like, you know what? I don't really want to share this. I don't want to share this circuit. I kind of just want to win all of them.
I think Blizzard was forced to start switching up their trophies because it's like, ROT was it like, you know, everyone would win one of them, it'd be really cool. And he's like, no, this guy just keeps winning the same trophy over and over again. They already had that problem a little bit with Neep, of course. Anyway, it's going to be a Reaper fast expand coming out of our Mexican Terran player on the left top side. And a standard opening so far from Classic. What do you think, Maynarde? I know you're hoping Classic, but what do you think?
I'm starting to warm up to your may the best player win thing here. Just want good games, you know, want to do the boring thing.
Well, what do you think so far? Out of like...
Well, the builds for Classic? I would like to see... Oh, I was going to say, I would like to see some Stargate again. There it is. Thanks, Classic.
Phoenix play, perhaps?
Yeah,
I think his Phoenix play is pretty good, but obviously on New Republic didn't really work out. Now, I must say, I do think that Phoenixes in general are stronger on King's Cove than they are on New Repugnancy. Reaper just gets into the main base. Can Special get a kill here? Yes, it can, and that's, you know, that may seem minor, but it's such a good feeling for a Terran player to just get in there with your Reaper, pick off a probe, a little bit of lost mining time as well.
Yeah.
Now he gets back in on the other side, and will most likely spot the fact that there is a Stargate as well.
And he does.
It's a really good start for Special.
It's about as good as you can hope for, apart from getting more probe kills. You know, in the early game, just going for a Reaper expand, it's not like it's proxied anything, and getting a probe kill at this level is very rare. It's usually Protoss is very, very good at zoning out that Reaper from the probe line. And it is going to be straight into Oracle here for Classic, so not going to be straight into those Phoenixes.
Yeah, very quick second barracks here for Special. We'll see. Special in general, a player that truly plans out his builds, right, for every single map. He's like, all right, these are the 5 maps I can potentially play. And this kind of has a plan to go with it. And obviously he'll make adjustments based upon what he sees, but it's all about like the first couple of minutes. He often has a very clear plan about how he wants to start and how he potentially wants to win the game if his opponent does what he's expecting him to do.
Classic dropping some structures at the front here. Helps you out in case this like, you know, potentially Hellions, that sort of thing. The Jabate bind here.
He's like, Oracle, you should try to pick up me.
Sometimes it works.
Yep.
So why not?
But I don't think you ever want to activate Pulsar Beam in that part of the map. Like you might be like, I don't know. We'll see if it works. Obviously the scout that Special had is big, because now we see that second Widow Mine is on the way, we see a Viking is in production, and I think that's maybe the most noteworthy. That's pretty quick stim compared to a lot of the other Terran builds out there. Don't forget he went for a quick second barracks, as we mentioned. That is a quick stim, and it's important for Classic that he figures that one out. If Classic flies his Oracle into like the Viking or the Widowmine Maynard, this could be a disaster. Not just for Classic, but for Korean Starcraft 2.
Korean Starcraft 2 is rested on Classic's shoulders right now at GSL vs. World. Reaper getting up to the main base, getting a little bit more info here as it's about to get taken down by the Adept, the Stalker. There we go. Sees the Stargate still spinning. Those Oracles flying past here. 3 Oracles for Classic.
He's playing a dangerous game. That's a lot of commitment. The Viking is way out of position though, so we'll see. I wonder what the Marine count is at. Okay, these Widowmines are going to get picked up. The Marine count is high, but we'll see how this one plays out. This is going to be an explosive one. It's funny as well, because last week I really felt that the Koreans actually did very good against all the Europeans in Europe. But now apparently the Europeans and the North Americans are doing good against Koreans in Korea. The Marines a bit out of position. Here are the Oracles, Maynarde.
Yeah, they're finding good numbers of damage here on those SCVs, and there we go. Classic sees all these Marines. Can now set up back at home. I mean, once these Oracles, of course, have done their drive-by, going to get a few more SCVs before they dart out of harm's way. Oh, the mines!
Classic! Classic! Can he lift? Can he lift? He should have lifted.
Not looking. Oh, man. Blunder there from Classic. Looks like he might have been controlling those Oracles still. This left everything on autopilot back at home. Both players have lost a dozen workers. Classic still up 7 here as the dust settles, and it looks like when the Oracles went down as well. But,
I do think it's all right for Classic. Like, obviously that looked painful, and it feels like, oh, that shouldn't have happened, right? Like, no, he probably could have handled that a lot better. But it's still all right for Classic because he got 3 Widow Mines as well, and he got the medevac, so that's big. And he should have seen the amount of Marines, and of course that tech lab, so he should sort of be prepared for this attack that's incoming.
Yeah, and to stop something like this, just shield batteries generally. A lot of shield batteries, some sentries can definitely help out as well. Blink can be nice, but I like shield batteries more. I'm getting very, very worried for Classic here.
Yeah, you need to, he's building probes now as well, and the Stalkers are not actually moving out or anything. Classic, it is important that you're aware of these Marines, because there's a lot of firepower in this tiny army. Oh, no.
He does not look like he's ready for it all.
This could be a disaster for Classic.
This actually might end right here. Oh, the Observer sees it, but it's too late.
What do you do?
Yeah, you've already walked in what you've done here. You've already made your round of probes. Oh. He's going to sack the 3rd, I think. Leave the 3rd, go back to the natural.
He's going to rely on force fields. He's going to try to hold this here with a Guardian shield.
It's so tough.
That's doable, maybe.
Oracles, they can help.
He's in position now, right, with everything. A Guardian shield is big here. That Widow Mine is very big as well. I mean, it's so nerve-wracking to watch. This Guardian shield is required at this point. The force fields go down as well.
Nice force fields from Classic, mitigating some of that bio damage. This is one of those sentries very close to going down. The Widow Mine gets a decent enough connection there on some of those Stalkers, but Classic actually does hold on very nicely there.
Yep, and because he was building probes during all of this, like the absolute madman that he is, he actually has a pretty decent economic advantage now.
And also didn't have to use the Oracles too much, so they still have plenty of energy for Pulsar Beams, or in this case, going to be some Stasis Wards on top of that ramp. Special, pretty committed here on these 2 barracks, and he's making 3 more back at home as well with that 3rd base on location. Wow. He knows that Classic's not going to really have units to spend on the other side of the map, so he gets one of the Observers there. Pushing forward here against Classic.
Very worried about the stasis traps there. Good force fields by Classic. I really like the way that Classic did that. I like what Special did as well. He was very careful, very cautious. But in the end, Classic is defending this pretty convincingly. And I actually think he can send his Oracle to the other side of the map to maybe delay that command center, right? Because there is nothing guarding that 30C from Special.
And he's got that +1 attack as well to make these Stalkers do a little bit more damage output against whatever they are, whether the Marauders, the Marines, Medevacs as well. But Special did manage to get that 3rd up. His economy is actually not too bad. While he did, quote-unquote, lose the fight there at the 3rd base, his situation on the other side of the map isn't too dire. These Oracles, though, looking to change that up.
Yep, and that Visitor is not done yet, so that actually is going to make this a little bit more painful as well than perhaps it should have been. That's 4 SCVs going down. Special still in this one, but man, I was so worried for Classic. I was like, oh my goodness, imagine if those units are like derping behind the mineral line, then 18 Marines show up with Stim +1, they dive on top of that, sentries go down. I was like, that's it, that's curtains, that's the end of Classic, and that's the end of Korean Starcraft in this tournament, at least until the team match. But good news for Classic is that that is not the case, and he actually defended that very well. I find this a bit ambitious, taking your fort right now. But I guess he's just full of confidence. And probably looks at his army, he's like, I'm actually not afraid of it. I like my army better. I have a lot of faith in my Blink Stalker micro.
You know what? I like his army better too.
I think most Terran players do.
Oh, nice cannon here, zoning away that Liberator, putting in a little bit extra damage on it as well, so the job for the Phoenix is a lot easier. In fact, Special's going to just sack that one. This one going into the main base is a much nicer Liberator here for Special.
Yeah, these Oracles are grabbing a couple of kills on the other side of the map as well, just being annoying. A little bit of economic damage, but at the same time, Zell will show up in the natural as well, so that's more economic damage. Classic definitely striking back. Where's the main army of Special? It's kind of running around.
It's coming back to the natural, I think.
Yeah. Not doing too much. Now, we do have 2 Colossi on the way. And the first Vikings are on the way. Second Starport is being built as well on the side of Special. I mean, Classic definitely got himself in a good position. And I kind of feel like the ball's in his corner to maybe make like a little timing once these upgrades sync up and maybe get a little War Prism. Does he still have a Prism somewhere? Yeah, he does, right? Because he was dropping Zealots, so I assume that he does have a Prism.
I think it was very damaged, so maybe it got picked off by the Marines coming back or some of the Vikings. But yeah, there it is. So it is still damaged, but it's alive. Back at the home force Classic.
I really feel that he can attack, right?
I mean, he's just playing it careful. This is game 5, so maybe waiting for those upgrades to finish before he goes across the map. I would like to see him actually, you know, maybe get another Prism and try and do a little bit more charge lot stuff. Be really cool.
Yep. I mean, economically, he's at 66 probes. Specials is building a lot of SCVs and building that 4th command center on location, and that's kind of why I think like maybe Classic should think of being a little more aggressive here, because he's got a massive army advantage. I mean, normally a Terran is not supposed to be down 33 army supply, and then definitely not supposed to take that 4th base on location, right? While building more SCVs than the Protoss is. But obviously I understand as well what you said. Tournament live on the line for Classic. It's hard to make all the correct calls in a game 5.
That's just being careful. Well, that Zelda skin looks nice, by the way. I think that's the Brood Ball one.
Yeah, I see. Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Ghost Academy finishing up here for special.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's the first time I see that in action.
So with the Ghost Academy, Ghost going to be able to hit the line here. That Observer about to go down thanks to the turrets. And here we go. Classic still with a very large army supply advantage. 2-2 not too far away from done, and these Colossi putting in a lot of splash damage.
The Archons are so nice as well, right? They're going to be very tanky because I don't see any ghosts here in the mix. Couple of Zealots are going to be super annoying in this mineral line on the north side. And yeah, this planetary is scary, but the Viking count isn't really there to apply a lot of pressure on these Colossi.
This is looking good for Classic, getting through that Viking count. The Liberator's trying to make things a little bit more of a commitment for Classic. That planetary quite low. It does have 11 SCVs on it to be able to repair it, but Special's only just using a few right now to help it out. Classic still trading well against Special's army. He's on that planetary again. The Warp Prism also rolling in another round of Stalkers.
I think he's doing really good. Just got to be a little bit careful that you don't overcommit too much near that planetary fortress. But you gotta love the way that Classic is doing this. Even though it's sort of like an anti-timing almost. He had the army and look at all those SCVs.
The Laser Giraffe's going to get some nice splash damage on here. They're just going straight for the command center. Down it goes. That Prism even going deeper inside of Special's infrastructure here. Oh man, this looks like it might be it, Roddy. He's going for those Colossi. The Prism's still alive, but it gets picked up before that warp pin happens. But does it even matter? There is still so much Protoss left over. GG, Korea.